Hey, what's going on, tech enthusiasts? BoHD here, and you're watching Last Week in Tech, the show where we talk about all of the top tech news stories from last week, this week. Thanks for sending in your tech news story suggestions. We've got a wide range of stuff to talk about. The first story I want to talk about has to do with YouTube and Facebook. Chances are you use Facebook, and I'm not even going to ask if you use YouTube because obviously you do, you're watching this video, but you've probably noticed all of the auto-playing Facebook videos on your timeline. Well, Facebook claims it is actually streaming more video than YouTube, which I kind of find hard to believe, but then again, I look at my timeline and I see just so many just crazy random videos. Like, I'm talking random videos, you know what I mean. Hank Green from YouTube actually wrote a fantastic article about how in order for them to make that claim, they had to cheat, lie, and steal. First, they cheat. For example, a popular YouTube video from a popular channel here on YouTube may be embedded on Facebook and reach between 20,000 and 50,000 people, but only be viewed several hundred times. The same video can be natively uploaded to Facebook and reach between 60,000 and 150,000 people and be viewed tens of thousands of times. They also lie. Facebook actually counts views significantly before someone could be said to actually be watching the video. While YouTube counts views at around 30 seconds or so, or when people are actively engaged in the video they are watching, Facebook counts views differently. So you could be scrolling through your timeline, maybe watch a few seconds of an animated GIF of a video that's silent, and Facebook will count that as a view. The final thing is that they steal. Many of the users on Facebook actually steal videos from YouTube and upload them natively to Facebook. Why would somebody embed a YouTube video to Facebook when they can just upload a video to Facebook natively and receive twice as many views? I mean, Facebook's algorithms encourage this form of theft. Sure, Facebook will take down the video several days after it has been reported, but that's after it has received a majority of its views. Now, once again, this is from an article written by Hank Green on medium.com. I definitely recommend you read it in its entirety. I'll leave a link to check it out down below in the description bar. Now, I personally use Facebook. I even have a page on Facebook for this YouTube account, and I've noticed specifically when I embed a YouTube video on my account, it gets a fraction of the views and it barely reaches any of my followers compared to when I upload the same video natively to my Facebook page. It receives easily more reaches, more views. It's really a crazy difference. The point of Hank's article, and just the reason why I'm talking about it, is because more people need to know what Facebook is doing. Keep in mind, Facebook is a company with a $260 billion market cap. They really shouldn't have to resort to these kind of measures to improve their video platform. The best thing you can do is just, if you see any sort of copywritten material, anything that was stolen from YouTube and uploaded on Facebook to a non-authorized account, you should just report the video and contact the content owner so that they can take action. But in other news, Bill Gates is investing $1 billion of his own money into clean energy research. How cool is that? Man, I love Bill Gates. He's using his money for good, and that is just so darn respectable. He will be investing $1 billion in clean energy technology over the next 5 years because he believes that over the next half decade, there will be many breakthroughs in technology that will ultimately help solve climate change. In the full article he wrote, he highlights some pretty chilling outcomes of climate change and just what will happen if we aren't able to control it. And in some sad American news, HitchBOT was destroyed in Philly, ending its tour across the US. The robot was part of a social experiment to see if it could hitchhike from one side of the country to the other after successfully hitchhiking across Canada and parts of Europe. Now, I watch BF vs. GF. I assume many of you guys do too. They're only the most popular vlogging couple on YouTube. In one of their vlogs, Jesse Wellens actually picked up HitchBOT and drove it around Philly a little bit, and they were trying to get it to Washington, D.C. because that was its next destination, but they weren't able to, so he left it on a bench in downtown Philly, and that's kind of where things went downhill. Somebody decided to vandalize and destroy HitchBOT, left him on the side of the road. There's a nice little picture for you. Hopefully there was some sort of security footage that shows who did this so that they could be arrested or at least charged with something, because why would you do that to an innocent robot? It's sad. We all love Windows 10, right? Well, most of us, I guess. I mean, after Windows 8, you kind of have no choice but to like Windows 10, right? I mean, Windows 8 was like terrible, right? Well, did you know that Windows 10 is spying on you? In an excerpt from Microsoft's privacy statement, Microsoft says we will access, disclose, and preserve personal data, including your content, when we have a good faith belief that to do so is necessary to. And then they talk about law enforcement and protecting users from spam and fraud and security reasons, and to protect the rights and property of Microsoft. yada yada yada. Basically what you're going to want to do is just go to your settings, go to the privacy section, and you'll see about 13 tabs. Go through each and every one of those and just kind of start disabling stuff that might seem worrying to you. If you're in the market for a fresh new smartphone, maybe you got your eyes set on the Galaxy S6 or the Galaxy S6 Edge, well, good news for you is that Samsung is actually going to be slashing the price of the Galaxy S6 and the Galaxy S6 Edge by about $100. Samsung is struggling to return strong profits, so they're going to try and slash the price of their flagship smartphone to see if that helps anything. The company is also going to release the Galaxy Note 5 and the Galaxy S6 Edge Plus in the coming days, so that could also be a good reason for the price cuts of the slightly older Galaxy S6. And then I always like to leave you guys with some juicy specs. Now, I've talked about the Nexus devices in the past on past Last Week in Tech episodes, but we have some fresh new leaks of both the LG and Huawei Nexus devices. So you guys ready for a wall of specs? All right, good, sit back. The LG Nexus is said to feature a 5.2-inch Full HD 1080p OLED display, a Qualcomm Snapdragon 620 processor, up to 4GB of RAM, up to 64GB of internal storage, a 3180 mAh battery, wireless charging, NFC, Bluetooth. It's also said to feature front-facing stereo speakers, a rear power button with integrated fingerprint sensor, 13 megapixel rear camera with an f1.8 aperture with laser autofocus, OIS, and a dual tone flash, 4 megapixel front-facing camera sensor with iris detection, a USB Type-C connector, and quick charging. In terms of the build construction, it'll feature an aluminum frame with chamfered edges and a matted plastic back cover, and will be priced between $300 and $400. The Huawei Nexus also received some leakage. Ooh, that sounds dirty. It's said to feature a 5.7-inch WQHD AMOLED display, a metal unibody design, 21 megapixel IMX230 sensor, and wireless charging. More specs will of course come out in the coming days and weeks, so definitely stay tuned here for more info about that device, but the LG Nexus sure does seem like a killer device, especially for $300 or $400 off contract. What do you guys think? With that said, those are some of the top tech news stories from last week. This week, let me know which news story is your favorite by leaving me a comment down below. And remember, you can always send me your tech news story suggestions using the LWIT hashtag on Twitter. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It really does help show your support. But as always, guys, I'm BoHD. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.